All made it back to the championship ring.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. I've lost track of what episode this is.
Yeah. We've got Levi and Darell coming on to talk a little bit about the team show down in Hurricane.
Red Rock Rampage.
How are you guys?
Doing good.
So are you guys all ready for this weekend?
Getting close. Close as we can.
So, some of the people on here may not know you guys. Let's do a little introduction. So, Levi, how long you been derbying? Where do you live? And what? Tell us something about you that we may not know.
I started derbying in 2003 in Plains, Montana. I live in Helena now, so just a guy that likes derby.
Nice. How about you, Darell?
This will be year 12 derbying. I started just running local fairs in Durango, Colorado, where I'm from. I live in Aztec, New Mexico now. It's about 30 minutes up the road, but it's a different state.
So we got one of you living in New Mexico. We got one of you living in Montana.
How did you two become a team?
It was about 3-4 years ago. I went and ran in Ogden, a team show, and my teammate, he ended up being out in the heat. And anyway, I introduced myself to Levi, and we kind of been buddies since.
Awesome.
Nice. Now, Levi, you mostly run in Montana, or do you kind of travel outside and run other states, or what do you guys do?
I've been derbying more out of state. I've been doing some Utah stuff. I went to South Dakota last year. I've done some Idaho shows, so I just run wherever.
How far is it from where you live to some of the shows in Idaho and Rapid City, Ogden, just to give some of these people an idea of how far you're traveling?
When I went to Rapid City last year, it was like 8 hours away. Ogden, I'm like 8 there. Some of the Idaho shows are 6, but I haven't been to Idaho in forever. So
Okay.
And then to Hurricane, it's like 13 and a half hours. So
Gotcha. Darell, same question for you. How far is it going to be to get you to Hurricane, and then how far have you traveled to some of your shows?
I guess it was 2 years ago. We went to Blizzard Bash. That was right at 11 and a half, 12 hours. And then this past year with Levi, we ran South Dakota. That was right at 12, about the same drive. And then Hurricane's only 6 from me. So
Nice. So how did you guys become teammates for this show? Did one of you guys ask the other? How did that come together?
Well, pretty much we just ran Gold Rush, so I sent the screenshot to Levi, and he pretty much texted me, well, we're signed up, so be ready.
Well, it's funny because if you look on behind Levi, you got Team OnlyFans. Now, I don't know Levi, but I remember Team OnlyFans from South Dakota. So it's kind of funny how little things like that can help you. When Nate said we're bringing on Levi, I'm like, I don't 100% know who this is, but now it clicks all together. So you guys were in the red and white cars out there. You guys did really good. What night was that? Oh my heck. I think it was the second or third night. You guys had one hell of a battle on that night. Who was in the caddy? Was that Trevor?
Jace,
right?
Yeah, Trevor. Yep.
Oh, Trevor.
Trevor. That car really impressed me. Like it really did. Were you guys impressed by the card, or did you guys think did you know that an 80s caddy was going to hold up that well at that show?
I told him and Levi both they were crazy for the cars they were building. So, but no, it worked out. I mean, his first heat, the wheel fell off, and we didn't get to see much then. But when we ran up against Chaos, it held together for sure.
Yeah, I remember. I literally, because I was on the berm, and I just remember going like, "Holy cow, that car is really like impressive right now." Like it really surprised me. Well, Levi, what car were you in at that show?
62 Thunderbird.
Okay, I remember. Did you have an older gentleman with you at that show? Who? There,
No, I didn't have it.
who was there an older guy that was part of your guys? Was that Trevor's dad or something?
That'd have been Trevor's dad,
All
probably.
right, I forget his name, but I feel like me and him became friends at that show. So I talked to him a bunch. So that's kind of the cool part about going to these derbies is meeting new people because, I mean, otherwise we wouldn't meet you guys being
Yeah.
multiple states away. So that's pretty cool. Um, Going into this show, what's your thoughts with like the '80s wire class? Like, do you guys like that rule set? Do you guys wish it was a different rule set? Or I mean, what's your mentality with the rules and the location of the show? Do you just want to team up and crash a car?
Just as long as the rule, tech's fair on it, I'll go anywhere, any rule set. I don't really care. It's just you got to be fair. So I'll build wire cars, weld cars, whatever, just as long as it's equal.
I definitely anticipate that it will be.
Yeah.
I feel like those guys have a pretty fair crew. And I mean, I've never heard anything like shady come out of that crew. So I feel like you'll have a pretty good tech down there.
No, usually head tech's what Joker, and then probably like Tripler helping out and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, those guys are very
Back
knowledgeable.
and forth.
Yeah. Now,
That's
Darell,
good.
do you like the '80s wire rules or do you like the harder cars?
I hate metric cars. So I usually don't build many metric cars unless it's like a Vic, but I don't know. This rule set's a little different. I've only built one other wire car, but I kind of like it. You get a cradle, just a few little tricks that he puts in the rules so you can make them last a little bit.
Yeah.
So what are you guys running?
I got an 81 St. Regis.
Okay.
My man. That's
You'll love that.
That's
car.
the only car I think I would run in an '80s wire car. Like I'm not into the new stuff,
No.
and if I'm going to build a car, I'm going to build something I like. I love the St. Regis's, the Newport New Yorkers, the '79 to '81s. Like that's my car.
On our last episode, he was talking about running one of those cars through what 13 shows in a weld class.
Yeah, weld class. But
It's different.
I built one for the 2 years ago, and we didn't have the greatest luck with it. So I hope you do have better luck than what I did.
Yeah. No, I build a lot of 70s Mopars, usually Y-framers, a couple satellites, so the frames are kind of similar for our stock show here in Durango, but it's going to be a new venture for sure. Leaving bumper shocks, that's something I usually never do, but we got to do that. Yeah, I was planning on running a metric caddy. I had one there in the field, and I stumbled upon this one like 3 days after Levi had signed us up, so
Awesome.
it worked out.
And Levi, what are you running?
And 03 Vic.
Okay.
So I've always liked the 03s and how they're holding up in the wire class. Probably my only complaint is ride height. Do you have any complaints about your ride height, or do you feel like you're sitting pretty well?
Oh, it's on the ground. I'm not exactly excited about it, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping some old school tricks is going to help keep some stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, I've helped a few friends build them, and the frames are holding up. Honestly, the suspension's even holding up. I'd probably recommend having a set of outer end inner tie rods for those. It seems like maybe that A-arm bends. I'd grab a set of those to have on hand.
The wild part about this car is I got it on Amazon, and you can buy all the upper A arms on all the steering and everything, and I'm less than $400 into brand new spare parts, including a wrap.
Yeah, and you know the best part? After the Derby, you just send it all back to Amazon, whatever you didn't use.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You're like, well, didn't need that. Here you go. Get my $350 back. I'll keep the bent tie rod, but
Yeah.
that's what we just learned. You got to take the parts with you, and then you just send it back when you're done with it. But I think you're gonna like the 03 in that class. I definitely, if you can keep them running, like I said, the frames are being, holding up really well, and the suspension's up. But we just, I've helped Christian a few times. I mean, we've literally been breaking the timing covers off, the valve covers, just because we have no ride height and we're getting cleared. So I would really like if anyone out there has figured this out for wire class, uh, feel free to share with me. You can PM us. We'd like to know how to get that done. But I gotta circle back to my man over here with the '80s Mopar. What are you thinking on that car? You feel pretty good about how you got that one set up?
I'm pretty happy about everything. I was hoping he'd let me pull the K member bushings, but that was a big no.
Do you
'Cause
get fix-it plates after the heat?
yes, yeah, he said we get 4 quarter-inch 4x6 plates. So
And do they get to go anywhere? They have to go on the frame. Can you connect the K frame to the frame?
that's kind of my hope.
Because that's a game changer, man. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I those are my favorite cars for '80s wire cars by far. What do you think is the weakest part of like the build as far as the rules for that car? What is the one thing on there that you feel like if you could change it, what would you change?
Oh, that's gonna be the loose nut behind the wheel. That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be the weak link right there. But no, I'd say the bumper shocks is probably gonna be my biggest issue. My bumper falling off.
Really?
Whatever. I hope not, but
Because if you got that plate's all still bolted up and you're welded up good, you'll be fine.
yeah, everything's welded up as good as it can get. But I just have bumper shocks fall off when I was first starting in Derby. So
Hopefully, you have a better welder than I do, which is myself. So
yeah, it's been a little bit of me and a few of my buddies building on my cars. So
Yeah.
we haven't failed
Levi,
yet.
do you get a hard nose D03?
Yep.
Yeah. That's one other good thing about the '03 for that rule package is getting that hard nose that bumper. So you're probably not worried about your bumper falling off. Is there something else on the '03 that's just you wishing you could fix or change?
I wish that you could do a different bumper, being able to seam weld a bumper on there, but
Yeah,
other than that, I think it's pretty good rule set.
yeah.
It's
Maybe
wild. Oh, go ahead.
I say, man, maybe create some bumper height somehow by welding A arms or something down.
Yeah, it's going to be what it's going to be. I'll just put big tires up there.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
What?
It's wild. These rules are just wild to me
Yeah.
because the Montana stuff, you can't have half the stuff in the more welded class than you can down in this chain class. It's beyond me on what they got going, which I think is going to be super cool. An old school show that actually bends and
yeah.
have a lot of power.
Well, that's what I was telling him on the last episode is you guys are going to have to drive a little bit softer because you guys are all used to the hard cars. But man, that crowd is going to love it because they get to see stuff bend.
Yeah. The good news is the stuff you're hitting soft too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What how many team shows have you each drove in?
This will be 4 for me.
yeah, this will be 4 or 5 for me.
So you guys at least have the feel of that because there's some people that you'll be competing against that's never driven a team show. What do you feel like is different between the team show and the singles, and what do you like about a team show that you may not like about singles and vice versa?
Go ahead, Levi.
The team show, it's nice to have somebody have your back, but if your teammate doesn't really have your back, it gets pretty bad that way.
Yeah.
If you're off in a corner and you're getting pile drove, it's sort of not very nice. But
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to have somebody else out there, watching over you. If you're hung up, if you're stuck in a corner, just something. And you always have, because you go out of town, and when you're the out of towner, you usually get hammered.
Yeah.
So
when you're on the track, do you ever find yourself derbying and be like, oh crap, I forgot about my teammate? Or are you like me, worried about your teammate so much that you don't drive how you probably should?
well, actually, last year I it was in our first heat with Not For Hire. One of them was in Levi's front end. And I drove up through the back end of them and toasted Levi's front end. So probably wasn't the brightest thing, but I was trying to make a hard hit, but it happens.
The thing about South Dakota though is everybody had our backs. We all knew where everybody was, and we never got in a really bad spot. You know, that was the nice part about driving with Darell compared to some of my other teammates.
So how do you feel like you guys are going to do? Because like South Dakota's 4-man team show, you're out there, you're head to head against another team, but now you're going into a heat that's probably got 5 other teams in there. How do you feel like that's going to be different? Do you think that you're how do you compare that to the 4-man? Like, what's your thought process with having multiple teams on the track at once?
Well, the good thing about more than just head to head is you're not just fixated on the same group of cars. You know, it's them against you. Now it's, you know, you might get the luck of the draw and 2 teams might already not like each other and they're taking care of themselves, or you got more options. You know, you make somebody mad, they ain't all going to pile on you. You know, you got 6 different teams out there to go get after.
Yeah. Are you going to go politicking?
I'm just going to drive.
I know a few people that go out and politic.
We got too many politics in this world. Keep that shit out of Derby.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's the nice part about coming in from out of state. You stay out of that pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep. My experience.
Have either of you guys drove down in the Hurricane Arena?
No.
I did last year.
Okay. Who did you drive with last year?
AJ Sanders.
Okay.
Anyway, he was from Thompson Falls. I drove with him for a long time.
Nice. What's your thoughts of that track? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you wish? What was your thoughts?
It's hard on suspension. It's really hard on suspension. Then you dig down, and it's a different track than what I'm used to. Up in Montana, you know, you're driving on hard clay, and you don't have any of that stuff. You get a wheel shot, you'll slide over, you won't pop a ball joint out immediately. It's
Isn't
a little
that
bit different.
put you out up there with suspension?
Yeah, I mean, put Ryan and I both out. I mean, suspension. I would agree. It is a suspension killer, but I would definitely recommend you using taller tires because you know to keep up on top of that sand. But I mean, I think it's kind of weird because you can drive in the same track every single year and it can change conditions every year. But I do think that was one of the sandier tracks I've driven on. Would you agree, Levi?
Oh yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
It is wild on that. And you just, you know, I had 513s last year and I barely got on the gas and I dug myself a hole, and it was, yeah. Usually, like in Montana, you can lose a wheel with the 513s and you can still drive around, but down there, the wheel flopped over and you're dug. It's
Yeah. There was a lot of people getting stuck in the first of the show. It definitely got harder throughout the night.
Yeah. I think by the main event, it was good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your guys' are you guys bringing the families with you? Are you guys just, you know, taking off by yourself, you and the boys? How's this work for your guys' pit crews and your families?
Well, I have Jamie and usually CJ. They always help me in the pits, whatever. And I just got a new baby. She's 7 months old. She was 6 weeks old at Gold Rush. So
well, congratulations.
she came down to that, and it's a lot to keep her happy during the Derby. But since this is a 1-day show, she might, the wife and kid might go with us, but she's undecided with the measles going around, that kind of stuff. So better to keep her safe and let me go destroy cars. But I'll at least have a couple pit guys.
Are you guys making like a mini vacation out of it? Or are you just coming in, driving, coming in Friday, driving Saturday, and headed out Sunday? What's your guys' travel plans?
I don't know about Levi, but I'm leaving Saturday, probably 2 a.m. Get there in time for the tech and do driving. I got a hotel for Saturday night and then come back Sunday.
Sweet.
I'll probably be a little bit longer. I'm bringing the wife and kids and all that, so we'll make a little bit of a vacation out of it. So
do your research. There's a lot of fun parks to take the kids to.
Yeah. The St. George Hurricane area it's a pretty cool place. There's a lot to do. There's great places to visit, places for the kids to play, lots of great restaurants.
I'm a fat kid. Food's important.
You guys probably already have lodging set up, but there's a lot of great Airbnbs in the area. It's a pretty cool place. You can make a great weekend out of it for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I've started derbying down in Utah more, is because you get to go take a whole family weekend, see some stuff, and then go derby too. So entertainment for everybody.
It's a little different for us because I look around Utah and I look at all the fantastic shows that I have in 2 hours north, all the way to 4 hours south, 2 hours east, west, wherever. But I just don't feel the need to travel outside of Utah because we have so many fantastic shows, and so we don't travel out that much.
I don't think I've ever drove outside the state of Utah.
Well, whenever I do find a show that I want to look at, I forget exactly where it's at, but what's the one that's their advertisement, something on the river? Clark's?
Yeah.
Clark or something like that.
That's in Montana.
Carnage on the Clark Fork? Is that what you guys are talking about? In Montana?
It's in August. And anyways, that show's always intrigued me, but the dates don't work because we have so many fantastic shows the week before, the day of, and the week after. It's hard to go to a show like that.
Yeah, how do you pull yourself away from fun stuff here when...
And sorry, Darell, but there's not one show that I've even heard of in New Mexico that intrigues me.
I don't even know if there's any derbies in New Mexico. I consider my local show Durango because that's where my shop is, everything like that. So it's just one local fair show, and then other than that, we go run in Alamosa. But
how far do you live away from Durango now?
It's 30 minutes. That's my commute every day from Aztec to Durango. It's not bad at all. It's just, like I said, it's short drive, but it's across state lines technically. So
yeah. Do you drive in the Greeley show?
I haven't yet. I've always planned on it and just never got to it.
I'm looking up right now. I want to see where Durango is located. I feel like I know, but I want to see exactly.
Yeah, we're 30 minutes from New Mexico and about 3 hours from Alamosa, 6 hours from Denver.
So, okay, what's his name that are coming out of Colorado? Jordan.
Oh, Martin?
No.
He's asking
Granillo?
me questions.
Yes.
Jordan Granillo? Yeah.
Granillo. Where do you run with him? Do you guys run the same shows? I mean, you guys are kind of it looks like he's a couple hours from you.
Yeah, he's right at 3 hours from me. He owns a towing company and I own a body shop, so he kind of, we know each other, and he promoted the first team show I ever ran in was in Alamosa, and he ran that for 2 years, so I know Jordan pretty well. He picked up my transmission for me for Gold Rush last year, and I ran up and picked it up from him. So
nice. That's awesome. What are you guys most looking forward to this coming weekend, to this show? What are you guys most looking forward to?
Smashing cars?
Chaos.
Chaos.
Controlled chaos.
Perfect. What do you guys think how do you guys think you're gonna? I haven't seen a driver's list. Is there a driver's list out there?
Not that I've seen.
Do you guys know any drivers that are running the show?
The only drivers I know that are driving are the ones I did shirts for.
It'll be interesting to see how you guys line up on the field. I wish I had a driver's list because it'd be really interesting to see how everybody lines up. Definitely, we would probably like to circle back and see how you guys felt like the show goes once it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you guys are holding big check and trophy.
That's the plan. We're due for a payday. Last year.
How many people helped you get these cars put together?
I got, I got Jamie and CJ and Dylan. They pretty much help. They work for me, and well, Jamie doesn't. He works at Recla, and they're one of my sponsors. Those three just help me after work. We get them ready, and then, of course, my wife taking care of the baby, so I have time to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a full-time job.
Wives and girlfriends are very important to Derby.
Yeah.
What about you,
No.
Levi? How much help have you had on your car?
Well, my wife helps a major part of it. And then I got my brother-in-law who's going to be pitting with me, and then my brother comes down and helps. And then with the stalker stuff, I've had to borrow stuff from all across the state. So wild how much everybody comes together
Oh yeah.
in this sport. So that's
I
the
think
best
it's
part.
funny you said that because when I built that R body 2 years ago, I'm not joking you. I could have built a weld car faster because I'm like, I bought a car that didn't have a motor tranny, it didn't have a rear end in it, and I'm like trying to find stock drive lines, and it was a throttle cables. It was a disaster.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, that's always hard about the stock. You can't just swap from, car to car. You got to find Mopar on Mopar or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I lied. Mine did have a rear end, but I was welding up the gears and I had a rookie mistake and ruined it. And that it was trying to find a rear end to replace it with. It took me a minute. And I mean, it's a rear end that I've thrown 30 or 40 of them in the scrap bin, but because of that, I didn't have any laying around.
I know that.
where I've been last couple of years, last 4 years, I've been going for like the more built up rear ends, and I went to LS and everything, and I had a pile of other stuff that would work, and I've just given it away, and now it's it all again. But
And now you need it.
yeah,
Yeah, that was one problem I had. I got my LS in my mod car from Gold Rush still. I got my LS in the Duo car from Gold Rush, so I had to break out a motor that I haven't ran in a few years, put it in.
So what did you put in it?
It's a small block Chevy, 383.
Nice.
I ran it in a Suicide Lincoln at that team show in Alamosa I was talking about.
Great.
Now, Darell, have you built an R body before?
I've built, like I said, I built mainly Y-framers, but this is definitely the first St. Regis style build I've had. So,
Well, I'll
R body
definitely like to hear what you think of it when you're done. I absolutely love them. There's a few small things you can do on those cars to make them completely different. I definitely think it's the best Mopar you can get for 80s wire class. Um, my opinion of the car is you can hit as hard as you want until it bends. Once it bends, it goes fast, but it'll stay straight for a while. So
That's what I figured.
if you can keep that thing straight until you get your plates on, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Put a plate on the inside of the frame rail right there at the firewall. There's a factory dimple there. If you can get a plate over that, and then get one tied in on your K frame, that'll be a game changer for you for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I have an older guy out here that I've derbied with since I started. His name's Ted. He ran with me in Blizzard Bash a couple years ago, and he's built a bunch of these. And he told me, take those body pucks out. So, first question I asked, and he said, nope, they got to stay. So,
Yeah, honestly, like if you're putting fix-it plates on them, it doesn't really matter if you pull them out, in my opinion. If you can connect them, but even then, if you can keep that straight at the firewall, who cares if it bends up? And you know what I mean? Let it kind of do a snake all the way down the frame rail as long as you can keep that firewall straight.
yeah, absolutely.
Levi, first 03, especially like wire class build.
yeah, yep. First one. Can't run them in Montana, so I figured this will be my only chance. So.
Okay.
But
What would you say that was probably your biggest learning curve on one?
I'm not sure yet.
That's not good.
What's that?
That's not good.
Yeah, no. I mean, for these rules, they're pretty similar on everything. Can't touch anything A-arms forward. So
Yeah.
I mean,
What drivetrain do you have in it? What did you end up putting in it?
I got an LS with a 14 bolt. So
Nice. I I think that the going to a different motor is a big deal with the O3s
Oh yeah.
because the wiring harnesses and all that fuel injection crap is
Makes
just,
me want to puke.
yeah. But putting like a small block Chevy or an LS or something in an O3, I think I'd probably have a smile on my face.
yeah, I don't know. I think it'll hold up good, but like I said, I've never ran an O3. If they're anything like they are from the firewall back, I ran a lot of box Vics, so I think I got that under control. So whatever it does up front is
Yeah.
the
And
only.
for this real class, I definitely think the up front's a lot better than, 9802.
That's
Oh, yeah.
why I did too. They just look straight. The straighter
Yeah.
they are, the longer they last.
Yeah.
They don't have those dog legs up front, so I think it'll be all right. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
I think you'll enjoy it for sure. Well, who would you guys say you got to thank the most on these builds and this trip out?
Go ahead, Levi.
My wife and my family and everybody that has chipped in to get the parts that I don't have. I mean, it's a big community that put this car together with me.
It's pretty awesome when you have a lot of people willing to help and
Yeah.
people to lean on, and then it's really awesome when if you have a spouse that really supports you. I mean, my wife helps me in so many ways with taking care of the kids and bringing dinner, and like on Derby Day, the small stuff like helping pack the truck and just honestly getting the cooler packed, all that small stuff, like it helps out so much.
Well, yeah, because when you're getting ready to leave, man, your brain's fried. And thank God their heads are screwed on straight because they keep us in line.
Yeah, and the stress they put up with the stress.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to add, we got Gray Area Demo Parts came in. They're they're our head sponsor this year. And then got Jamie and CJ Dillon always helping me in the pits. My wife always keeping me together, the baby together, doing this and stock car racing on top of it. And then we got Gray Area Demo Parts. We got Recla Metals, fender menders. I think we got Prestige, right, Levi?
Yep.
Sounds like you guys are set up. We hope you guys have a good time.
Yeah.
We wish you the best of luck.
That's the most important part. It's having fun. If you're not having fun, it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially on an adventure like this. I mean, honestly, half the fun is the road trip. So hopefully you got someone you can make it, that part of it fun. Because I've been out to Blizzard Bash, Gold Rush, and I'm telling you, like, it's the guys that go with me that make the trip as much fun. So
Yeah, definitely the downtime's always a good time on top of the Derby. So
yeah. Well, awesome, guys. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. And we hope you guys are holding that big check next week.
Yep. And we'll
that's the plan.
touch base with you after.
So, okay, guys. Thanks for having you on. We'll chat soon.